Hello and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain and I'm your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 7-day-a-week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 217 of our trek. As we start out a new year, I want to emphasize again how important it is for us to have the proper mindset as we begin 2016. For the first few days of this year, we will explore how we need to renew our minds so that we can transform our lives. After that, we will spend a few days focusing on setting our plans and goals for the new year. If you miss any of the days of our Wisdom Trek episodes, please go to wisdom-trek.com to listen to them and to read the daily journal. We are recording our podcast at our studios at Home 2 in Charlotte, North Carolina. Paul and I enjoyed a relaxing New Year's Day watching the Rose Bowl parade and visiting with her sister and her husband Joe. We enjoyed homemade chili that evening and played a game of Carcassonne. It is a bit of a strategy game that comes from Germany, and we did have a real enjoyable time that evening. This weekend will be dedicated to additional life and business planning as we get ready for the first work week of 2016. But for today, let's continue on our Wisdom Trek for 2016 as we hike down our trail for today on the Mountain of Transformation. Personal transformation in any area of our life first begins on the trail of renewing our minds, or it might be said, changing the way we think. The only way for 2016 to be a better year is that we change how we think. The trek up Transformation Mountain will take a couple days longer than we originally anticipated in order to keep the Wisdom Trek episodes to between 7 and 9 minutes in length. But I want to make sure that we do take our time to explore these important nuggets of thoughts that will change our lives. Today we will continue our exploration of the 7 thought patterns for a rich and satisfying life. I stated on the first few days of this year that if we do desire to live a rich and satisfying life in 2016 and beyond, then it starts with changing the way that you think. Why is it so hard to change the way that we think? To choose what is right, just, and good? It's such a simple concept, and yet for most of us it is so difficult to do consistently each day. This is because changing our thoughts and changing our lives is actually hard work. Your thought patterns, your habits, the manner in which you live is so ingrained in you. To make significant and lasting changes, it takes consistent and persistent commitment to change the way that you think every single day. We have to consciously have a gatekeeper monitoring what we allow into our minds. Your minds have been programmed throughout the years of your life based on what you have allowed your minds to feed on each day. So far on our trek, we've covered the thought patterns of trust, thankfulness, truth, and timing. If you missed any of the first 2 days, please listen to them and read the daily journal to learn the wisdom that's contained there. Today we will explore the 5th thought pattern, which is travail, or it could be referred to as hard work. None of us really like that, but it's needed if we're going to change our thought patterns. And you need to infuse this thought pattern into your life to make any real and lasting change. So let's explore travail. If you want your life to be transformed, you must fill your minds with the thoughts of diligence, labor, and travail. You must be a person who is responsible, reliable, hardworking, and committed to excellence and focused on your task. You must put away the thoughts of laziness and apathy. You must not be a wandering or uncommitted person. You must avoid expecting everything to be easy and be prepared to handle the difficult responsibilities. You must take responsibility for your own life and avoid putting the blame on others for whatever happens in your life. When you fill your minds with the thoughts of diligence and excellence, your life will be transformed. So let's look at the action steps on our trail today that will help us to implement the thought patterns in your life. The first one is you must be willing to plan and then to put that plan into action. Proverbs 21 verses 5 and 25. Good planning and hard work leads to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Despite their desires, the lazy will come to ruin, for their hands refuse to work. Second, you must be willing to work hard and to lead others. Proverbs 12:24. Work hard and become a leader. Be lazy and become a slave. The third point is you must be willing to invest your time and resources to improve yourself. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 29. Do you see any truly competent workers? They will serve before kings rather than working for ordinary people. The next, you must be willing to work for your desires. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 4. Lazy people want much but get little, but those who work hard will prosper. Next, you must understand the correlation between hard work and riches. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 4. Lazy people are soon poor. Hard workers get rich. Next, you must work to please the Lord, not only to please others. Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24. Work willingly at whatever you do, as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people. Remember that the Lord will give you an inheritance as your reward, and that the master you are serving is Christ. Next, you must work to gain respect and avoid being overly dependent on others. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 11 and 12. Make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands, just as we instructed you before. Then people who are not believers will respect the way that you live, and you will not need to depend on others. And our last point for today is you must be willing to work and not be idle. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verses 6 through 12. And now, dear brothers and sisters, we give you this command in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Stay away from all believers who live idle lives and don't follow the traditions they receive from us, for you know that you ought to imitate us. We were not idle when we were with you. We never accepted food from anyone without paying for it. We worked hard day and night so we would not be a burden to any of you. We certainly had the right to ask you to feed us, but we wanted to give you an example to follow. Even while we were with you, we gave you this command. Those unwilling to work will not get to eat. Yet we hear that some of you are living idle lives, refusing to work and meddling in other people's business. We command such people and urge them in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ to settle down and to work to earn their own living. On our first 5 segments of our trek up Transformation Mountain, we explored the concepts of trust, thankfulness, truth, timing, and then today, travail. All these segments tie to each other on our trek of life and are crucial in the way that we think and the renewing of our minds. If we apply the principles that we explore this week, we will change our lives by changing our thought patterns. We will invest 2 more days to adequately cover the final 2 elements, which are the tempter and being teachable. So encourage your family and friends to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. That will finish our podcast for today. Remember to listen to your daily dose of wisdom each day at wisdom-trek.com or subscribe at iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or any other social media platforms. And also please share Wisdom Trek with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person as you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. The journal for today's trek can be found at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, you are my friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. As we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.